The Holy Bible is divided into two main parts, the Old Testament and the New Testament. Together, these parts form the foundation of Christian theology. They tell the story of God's relationship with humanity. The Old Testament covers the creation of the world, the history of Israel, and God's covenant with his people. On the other hand, the New Testament focuses on the life and teachings of Jesus Christ. It includes the early Christian church's development. These two sections are not just historical records, they are also spiritual guides. Christians believe they are divinely inspired. The division of the Bible into these two parts helps readers understand the continuity and fulfillment of God's promises. Each testament complements the other, creating a cohesive narrative. This structure has shaped Christian worship, doctrine, and tradition for centuries.
The Old Testament is a rich tapestry of various literary genres. It begins with the Torah, also known as the Pentateuch. These first 5 books, Genesis, Exodus, Leviticus, Numbers, and Deuteronomy, lay the foundation for Israelite law and history. They recount the creation, the patriarchs, the Exodus, and the formation of Israel.
Next are the historical books, which detail the history of the Israelite people. These include Joshua, Judges, Samuel, and Kings, among others. They narrate the conquest of Canaan, the rise and fall of the monarchy, and the Babylonian exile. The history recorded here is both inspiring and cautionary. Wisdom literature forms another vital part of the Old Testament. Books like Job, Psalms, Proverbs, Ecclesiastes, and Song of Songs explore themes of suffering, worship, wisdom, and love. They offer timeless insights into the human condition and divine providence. The poetic and philosophical nature of these books makes them deeply personal and reflective. Finally, the prophetic writings include major prophets like Isaiah, Jeremiah, and Ezekiel, as well as 12 minor prophets. These books convey God's messages delivered through his chosen messengers. They call for repentance, predict the coming of the Messiah, and provide hope for restoration.
The New Testament is a collection of 27 books. It begins with the 4 Gospels, Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John. These books provide 4 distinct perspectives on the life, ministry, death, and resurrection of Jesus Christ. They serve as the cornerstone of Christian faith, portraying Jesus as the promised Messiah.
Following the Gospels is the Acts of the Apostles. This book, written by Luke, chronicles the early church's history. It details the spread of Christianity from Jerusalem to Rome. Acts highlights the works of the apostles, especially Peter and Paul, and the growth of the church through the Holy Spirit's guidance. The epistles are letters written by apostles to various Christian communities. Paul's letters, such as Romans, Corinthians, and Galatians, provide theological teachings, ethical instructions, and pastoral care. Other apostles, like Peter, James, and John, also contributed epistles addressing specific issues faced by early Christians. The New Testament concludes with the Book of Revelation. This apocalyptic text, authored by John, offers a vision of the end times. It is filled with symbolic imagery and prophetic declarations. Revelation provides hope for Christians, promising the ultimate victory of good over evil and the establishment of God's eternal kingdom.
The development of the New Testament canon was a complex process. Early Christian communities played a crucial role in this. These communities collected and preserved writings they deemed authoritative. They used these texts for teaching, worship, and guidance in faith and practice. Initially, there was no formal canon. Various texts circulated among the communities. Some were widely accepted, while others were disputed. The criteria for inclusion were apostolic authorship, conformity to the rule of faith, and widespread usage. Texts that met these criteria were considered inspired and authoritative.
Church leaders and theologians also contributed to the canonization process. Figures like Irenaeus, Tertullian, and Origen evaluated and defended the texts. They emphasized the importance of adhering to apostolic tradition. Their writings and debates helped shape the emerging canon. By the 4th century, a more definitive canon began to take shape. The widespread acceptance of certain texts and the rejection of others led to the formation of the New Testament as we know it today. This process was not without controversy, but it ultimately resulted in a cohesive and authoritative collection of Christian scriptures.
Church councils played a pivotal role in formalizing the biblical canon. These councils were gatherings of church leaders who met to discuss and decide on important theological and doctrinal issues. Their decisions had a lasting impact on the development of Christian orthodoxy.
The councils of Hippo in 393 AD and Carthage in 397 AD were particularly significant. These councils confirmed the canon of the New Testament, listing the 27 books that had gained widespread acceptance among Christian communities. The decrees of these councils were influential in solidifying the canon.
The decisions made at these councils were not arbitrary. They were based on careful consideration of the text and their adherence to apostolic teachings. The councils sought to preserve the integrity of the Christian faith by endorsing texts that were consistent with the core beliefs of Christianity.
The role of church councils extended beyond canonization. They also addressed heresies, defined key doctrines, and established liturgical practices. Their work ensured the unity and continuity of the Christian faith. The decisions made at these councils have shaped the course of Christian history and doctrine.
Translations of the Bible have been crucial in making its teachings accessible to diverse audiences. Two key translations stand out in the history of the Bible: the Septuagint and the Vulgate. These translations played significant roles in the dissemination of biblical texts.
The Septuagint is the Greek translation of the Hebrew Scriptures. It was produced in the 3rd century BCE for the Jewish community in Alexandria. The Septuagint was widely used in the early Christian church and influenced the New Testament writers, who often quoted from it.
The Vulgate, on the other hand, is the Latin translation of the Bible. Commissioned by Pope Damasus I in the late 4th century, it was primarily my work. The Vulgate became the standard Bible for the Western Church for over 1,000 years. Its influence persists in the Roman Catholic Church today.
Both translations were monumental achievements. They required immense scholarly effort and linguistic skill. The Septuagint and the Vulgate made the Bible accessible to non-Hebrew and non-Greek speakers, respectively. They facilitated the spread of Christianity and the development of Christian theology.
The discovery and study of ancient biblical manuscripts have provided invaluable insights into the text's history. Among the most significant manuscripts are the Dead Sea Scrolls, Codex Sinaiticus, and Codex Vaticanus. These manuscripts have enhanced our understanding of the Bible's transmission and preservation.
The Dead Sea Scrolls were discovered in the mid-20th century near the Dead Sea. These scrolls contain some of the oldest known copies of the Hebrew Scriptures, dating back to the 2nd century BCE. They include fragments of almost every book of the Old Testament. The scrolls have shed light on the textual history of the Hebrew Bible.
Codex Sinaiticus, discovered in the 19th century, is one of the oldest complete manuscripts of the Christian Bible. It dates to the 4th century and includes the entire New Testament and much of the Old Testament. Its discovery provided critical insights into the early text of the New Testament.
Codex Vaticanus, also from the 4th century, is another important manuscript. It resides in the Vatican Library and contains almost the entire Bible. Both Codex Sinaiticus and Codex Vaticanus are crucial for textual criticism and the study of early Christian scriptures. They help scholars reconstruct the original texts and understand the transmission history. Section 8. Influential Bible Translations, KJV and Modern Versions. The translation of the Bible into various languages has been, well, a monumental task. Among the most influential translations is the King James Version, often referred to as the KJV. Commissioned by King James I of England in 1604, it was completed in 1611. The KJV has had a profound impact on English-speaking Christianity and literature. The King James Version is renowned for its majestic language and literary quality. It has been a standard text for English-speaking Christians for centuries. Many phrases from the KJV have entered common usage, influencing English literature and culture. Its enduring popularity is a testament to its significance. In addition to the KJV, modern translations like the New International Version or NIV have also gained prominence. The NIV, first published in 1978, aims to provide a balance between accuracy and readability. It is widely used in contemporary Christian communities and has been translated into numerous languages. Modern translations are the result of collaborative efforts by scholars from various denominations. They benefit from advances in textual criticism and archaeology. These translations make the Bible accessible to a broader audience, ensuring that its message remains relevant in today's world. Section 9. Religious significance and impact on Western culture. The Bible is not just a religious text, it has profoundly influenced Western culture. Its teachings have shaped ethical and moral standards. The Bible's narratives, themes, and symbols are deeply embedded in Western literature, art, music, and law. Many of the world's greatest works of literature draw inspiration from the Bible. Authors like John Milton, William Shakespeare, and Leo Tolstoy have referenced biblical themes in their works. The Bible's influence on literature is evident in countless novels, poems, and plays. In art, the Bible has inspired masterpieces by artists like Michelangelo, Leonardo da Vinci, and Rembrandt. Biblical scenes are depicted in countless paintings, sculptures, and stained glass windows. These works of art convey the Bible's stories and teachings visually. The Bible's impact extends to law and ethics. Many legal systems in the Western world are based on Judeo-Christian principles. The Ten Commandments, for example, have influenced laws related to justice and morality. The Bible's teachings on love, compassion, and justice continue to guide ethical decision-making in society. Section 10. Ongoing scholarly study. Scholarly study of the Bible is an ongoing endeavor. Scholars from various disciplines, including theology, history, archaeology, and linguistics, continue to explore its depths. Their research enhances our understanding of the Bible's historical, cultural, and linguistic contexts.
Biblical archaeology has unearthed artifacts and sites that shed light on the historical settings of biblical events. Discoveries like the Dead Sea Scrolls and the ruins of ancient cities provide valuable insights. These findings help to corroborate and contextualize biblical narratives.
Textual criticism is another important field of study. Scholars analyze ancient manuscripts to reconstruct the original texts. This involves comparing variations among manuscripts and understanding the transmission history. Textual criticism ensures the accuracy and reliability of modern translations.
Linguistic studies also play a crucial role. Understanding the original languages of the Bible, Hebrew, Aramaic, and Greek, helps scholars interpret the text accurately. Linguistic analysis uncovers nuances and meanings that might be lost in translation. This scholarly pursuit ensures that the Bible's message remains clear and relevant.
Section 11. Conclusion. The journey of the Holy Bible is indeed epic. From its origins in ancient texts to its modern translations, the Bible has traversed centuries and cultures. Its composition, development, and canonization are testaments to the dedication of countless individuals. Their efforts have preserved a text that continues to inspire and guide millions. The Bible's impact on religion, culture, and society is immeasurable. It has shaped the beliefs and practices of countless communities. Its influence on literature, art, and law is enduring. The ongoing scholarly study of the Bible ensures that its message remains relevant in a changing world. As we continue to explore the Bible's depths, we uncover new layers of meaning. The Bible is not just a historical document, it is a living text. Its teachings continue to resonate with individuals seeking wisdom, comfort, and guidance. The journey of the Holy Bible is far from over. It remains a vital and transformative force in the world today.